I'm so excited at the time and the season we are in. We need to know the time and the season we are in. AI world is taking over everywhere. Nowadays, you don't even need to go to an oracle to get predictions. Mystic Meg, astrologers, whatever they call themselves, they are running out of business now. You can just get AI to give you all the information that you need. But one thing the AI cannot give is you to know who you are. To know who you are. To know about the spirit, soul, and body. And what the spirit is, what the soul is, what the body is in you, in me, is so essential. Somebody was describing what the spirit is. He said, it's not a drop in the ocean. It is the wave in the ocean. So it's a lot of the water in the ocean. A wave that is carrying the intentions of the divine, of God Almighty, intentions into the material world. And it says the soul is a drop in the ocean. It's a drop in the ocean. So with that wave, a drop is the soul. And then the body is the job of the soul to line it up, to take it into the wave, to journey. When I listened to that description, I felt, yeah, I've never heard that before. Let me look deeper into it. And I can see that an ocean is going, the wave, the wave is moving. Something must have caused that ripple effect to cause the wave. And what causes the ripple effect is the intention of God, the purpose of God creating me to be on this earth. The purpose for which I was created, the job I was supposed to be doing, the wave, the ocean, and the ripple effect, and the wave can travel to the ends of the world. We have traveled from very, very, very far, each and every one of us, and there's a purpose for our life. And the wisdom talk I want to have this evening is found in 1 Corinthians. This is the first time I'm going to be using the Bible as such to explain or to discuss this wisdom message. 1 Corinthians 15, verses 51 and 52. When it says, in the twinkle of an eye, I'm paraphrasing now, he said, in the twinkle of an eye, we'll be changed. We'll be changed. We'll be like Jesus himself. In the twinkle of an eye. Let's go to the 1 Corinthians and see what it says there. For 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 51 to 52. It says, in the context of, let me read the 1 Corinthians first. Yeah, it says, verse 51 says, listen, I tell you a mystery. Anytime you see a mystery, it means an information that is not open to everyone, and information that select few are given. And that's the word esoteric. When a lot of Christians hear esoteric, they say, oh, they're afraid. But are we supposed to fear anything at all? Are we not supposed to investigate everything? We have the mind of Christ. We Christians, we manifested sons of God. We have the mind of Christ. We can investigate everything and get answers for everything. Don't be afraid to investigate. It says, listen, I tell you a mystery. We will not all sleep, but we will all be changed. And then verse 52 says, in a flash, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, the dead will be raised imperishable, and we will be changed. So there's a mystery in there. And the mystery, esoterically, the esoteric interpretation of that passage says in 1 Corinthians 15, verse 51 to 52, in the context of the esoteric or mystical interpretation, it can be seen as discussing profound spiritual transformations and the ultimate realization of a higher state of existence. I hope this English is not too much for anybody, for most people to break down. What I'm saying there now in 1 Corinthians 15, verse 51 to 52 is that in the context of this mystery that Paul is talking about, the interpretation of this place, it has to be in context. It has to be what was he talking about at that time and what was happening at the time when it was spoken. Okay, that's what happens. I get movements when I'm doing spiritual stuff. So you're witness to that. The movement. There's no air. The windows are shut, but there is movement. Glory to God. Glory to God. So in 1 Corinthians 15, verse 52 and 51 and 52, in that context, it can be seen as discussing profound spiritual transformation. Profound spiritual transformation. I say it again, profound spiritual transformation and the ultimate realization of a higher state of existence. We have it already. And I tell you, this higher state of existence was there at the time Jesus walked the earth. This higher state of existence was there when Adam and Eve were created. As soon as God says, let us make man in our image, this profound spiritual transformation and the realization of a higher state of existence was there. And that is why God himself came as Jesus Christ, man, Son of Man, to show us, to teach us in the red letters that this realization was even existing then. There are lots of the Lord's generals, fathers of faith, even to the ones that I met that died in the 90s and in the early 20s and so on, like Papa Hagen, like Smith Wigglesworth, like Colin Urquhart, and so many others like that. They came into this realization, the realization of a higher state of existence, of consciousness. And Paul is telling us here that we will not all sleep, but we will all be changed. The transformation of consciousness, the consciousness we are in now, is like the third dimension. The first dimension is like the animal kingdom, and so the earth, the elements, okay, the fire, the water, the earth, and the air. That's the first dimension. That's the first consciousness. The second consciousness is the animal kingdom. And God made us higher than the animal because we have the 6 faculties. The 6 faculties and the 5 senses. Okay? The 6 faculties and the 5 senses. The 6 faculties are perception. We perceive from our soulish realm, from our mind. The mind is very powerful, so it's always been said. So in the mind, we have perception, we have memory, we have imagination, we have will, we have intuition, and then we have reason. Animals don't have it. Animals don't have it. And then, in addition to that, we have 5 senses that enables us to deal with the outside world, with what we have manifested in the world. And the 5 senses are taste, sight, hearing, touch, and smell. Okay? So these senses, these 5 senses, when people, people will say seeing is believing. Until I see it, I don't believe it. I must touch it, I must feel it, I must smell it, I must hear it, and so on. And that has grounded us in the material world. But there have been lots and lots of people who have transcended the material world, who have gone beyond the material world, who will stay here, who will teleport and, who will see visions and who will say things as they are and so on, who would lay hands on the sick and they will be well, who will be able to give a message and transform people's lives. These are the manifestations of the sons of God that the Bible is talking about, and you and I, that we are able to transcend the material world, the physical world, into spiritual. We are the ones that are the manifested sons of God. And we are moving from the first dimension, from the earth, from the elements, to the animal kingdom. And then the third is where we have personality and we have the 5 senses. And then moving further into the 4th dimension, which is the dimension of love, which conquers everything and which is more powerful than anywhere else. That is when we start using our perception, our will, imagination, memory, intuition, and reasoning. That takes us further into the spiritual realm. And in here is where we are going to be able to do our observations, where we'll be able to say, who am I? Where you'll be able to realize that you are not the soul, you are not the body, you are a spirit being living permanently with the spirit of the living God. That is if you're a regenerated spirit. And that is if you become Christ conscious. And becoming Christ conscious means that you will be able to bring the will of the divine to the earth. You'll be able to see things as a divine being that you are. We all come from divinity. And we have a reason to be here on earth, to bring the divine to the earth. So when we journeyed all the way from the divine to the material world. We need to journey back to the divine, get to know who we are, and then come here and exercise our powers. So transformation of consciousness. The mystery that Paul speaks of can be interpreted as the hidden or esoteric knowledge regarding transformation of human consciousness. The idea that we will not all sleep implies that not everyone will experience physical death before this transformation occurs. People are on earth now that have already got that transformation. Instead, we will all be changed. It suggests a spiritual awakening or ascension to a higher state of being that happens instantaneously in a flesh in the twinkle of an eye. The symbolism of the last trumpet is saying that this last trumpet is not like we are going to hear. It may not be, but the way I see it, and I'm not saying that is it per se, but it may not necessarily that you will hear a trumpet. No, I don't think so. And I'm not preaching it, but I'm just giving you my take on this. Symbolism of the last trumpet is a symbol. The last trumpet symbolizes a call to spiritual awakening or enlightenment. What I'm doing now, saying that we should be spiritually awakened. We should know who we are. I am is who I am. And the more the people who know who they are will know they are God and will do exploits. And the symbols, this trumpet symbolizing is a call to spiritual awakening or enlightenment. In many mystical traditions, a trumpet or sound signifies a divine call or an awakening to a higher reality. This moment marks the transition from the material world to a higher spiritual plane. You can tell whether you are on point or you are not. In your deliverance ministry, in your evangelizing, in your pastoring, in your apostleship, in your prophet office of the prophet, you can tell whether you are still going the old-fashioned way or you are organizing your ministry in the doctrine of man. Why Christians are without power. Why Christians are being diabolical. They are mixing a traditional voodoo with Christianity. A leader comes and says, because he's doing something wrong, and you say you are doing something wrong, he says he will kill you. And you are afraid. You don't want him to kill you. So you are not going to expose him. And that continues. How long for? Okay. Let's continue. Resurrection and immortality. The dead will be raised imperishable. Refers to the idea of spiritual resurrection and immortality. Esoterically, this can be seen as the awakening of the soul from the death-like state of ignorance and material entanglement to an imperishable state of spiritual knowledge and enlightenment. This material world, we are all imprisoned here. And some of us have been given the key to set the captives free and for us to be free. And if I'm free, my job is to go and wake up my brothers and sisters to be, to be free as well. So we will stop feeling like we are limited because we are in the material world. Jesus said, be in this world, but not of this world. Jesus came, he demonstrated it. It worked. So it works for me, it works for you. Then there's the inner spiritual change. The change that Paul describes can also be interpreted as an internal spiritual transformation. It signifies the shedding of old limiting beliefs and the awakening to a higher truth, leading to a profound change in one's consciousness and way of being. This inner change aligns with the divine, leading to a state of spiritual perfection and unity with the divine. This is what I've been sharing with you, simplifying them and so on. But today, I just want to put this out there because when I decide to be explaining it, in very, very simple, ordinary terms, you would remember, you can always go back to this recording or this video and say, oh, this is what Yvonne was saying, about this transformation, about imperishable, about how we can, we can have a paradigm shift. That is, you renew your mind, you have the mind of Christ that doesn't limit, that says nothing, all things are possible. All things are possible. If you have the faith of a mustard seed, just a mustard seed, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, all things are possible for you. So the material world is created by your thinking. So you can think it and change the material world. Your imagination works miracles. Everything that was created was first in God's imagination, and we are created in His image, not necessarily physical, but the way we should operate, the way we do things. You'll be surprised that a lot of things that are happening in your life, you created them. And if you don't want them, you just, renew your mind. your imagination. If you imagine it, if you see it, you can achieve it. And all you need then is just to put your focus, keep on keeping on, keep on keeping on with the imagination, with the with your perception, with your will, ability to follow things through, with your memory of your imagination, and with your reasoning. Why do you need those things? The 6 faculties. You leave your 5 senses to one side for now, because the 5 senses are for the physical world, but you want to create. So you have to use the 6 faculties. Can I remind you what the 6 faculties are again? And then next time I will do the stick persons. Well, I probably will do it tonight so that you will understand what I'm talking about, or what I'm trying to get across to you. The 6 faculties that you use in the process of knowing who you are. Once you know who you are the spirit being, and your soul is a ripple. I mean, it's a drop in the ocean. It's a part of the ocean. But your spirit man is the wave, and the wave is carrying the drop in the ocean. So you have the 6 faculties. Now leave your 5 senses aside. What your soul creates is what you need your 5 senses for. But what I'm saying now, that what your soul, what your spirit man has caused your soul to create, the mandate, the instruction your spirit man has given your soul, the way your soul can pick on that, can pick it up and live in that power and walk in miracle, is to use the 6 faculties. And the faculties are, number 1, perception. And then there is the memory. And there is the imagination. And there is the will. And there is the intuition. And then there is the reason. This separates us completely from the animal kingdom. It makes us higher than all creation. And that is why God can tell us to occupy till he returns. That's why Jesus can tell us, go and teach them what I have taught you. That's why the red letter is so important to read, so that we can have a better use of the understanding we have in the teachings of St. Paul. And then when we go and read, when we go into Peter's messages, Peter, James, and John's messages, they will put a lot of meaning to the red letters, and all will be reconciled. You just can't stay in Paul's teaching and say, oh, Jesus' teaching is hard to understand, or it doesn't really take me to the supernatural. Both will work hand in hand. The whole Gospels and the Bible from Genesis to Revelation should not be omitted. But that doesn't stop you from studying and getting further, more information that is going to make the Word of God have greater meaning. How do you do it? Remember Galatians 2:20. It's no longer you that live, but Christ. It's not you that lives anymore. You have been crucified with him. It's no longer you that lives, but Christ, because you are now Christ conscious. So in summary, esoterically, 1 Corinthians 15 verse 51 to 52 speaks of a profound and sudden transformation from a lower state of existence to a higher, more enlightened state. This change is catalyzed, that is sped up, okay, by a divine call to awakening. It's symbolized by the last trumpet. It represents the resurrection of the soul to an imperishable eternal state of being, transcending, that is, going above, being able to operate despite all these material things, transcending the limitations of the physical world. The passage encourages a view of spiritual evolution, suggesting that this transformation is both an individual and collective destiny. So what is happening in you is happening in the whole world. You are a hologram of what is happening in the universe. Don't get left behind. And don't let stupor, spiritual stupor, don't let it destroy you. If you are still running after people to deliver you for deliverance and things like that, yes, there's need for deliverance, but there is need for you to know that there is more to your life than just food, than just what are needed in the physical realm. The five senses are there for you to operate in the physical realm, but the six faculties are there for you to operate as somebody who is becoming spiritually aware. I've decided I'm not going to do this the science of thinking tonight. I will do that tomorrow, the science of thinking, and I will come with diagrams. I don't know how I'm going to be able to. Well, I'll show you the diagram. I'll do my best to produce the diagram for you to go through these faculties and the five senses, and then you'll know exactly how to manifest. I don't like teaching people how to manifest things, because as soon as you manifest, you're limiting yourself. I would rather remove all the things that are manifested, and I'll say what will be, let things just happen. Surprise yourself with things that manifest. But if you really want to manifest, I'll show you how to manifest in my video, the next video I'll do for next week. So in the time being, all I want you to know and to think and to contemplate and probably go into scriptures. If you go into scriptures and you pray, just for you to realize that it's no longer you that lives, but Christ who lives in you, because you have been crucified with him. When he resurrected, you resurrected with him. And now the power he has, as he is in heaven, so are you in this world. He's glorified, so you are glorified too, even in this world as it is. But you need to know this thing. So this might be a week of reflection and going through what I have discussed here. But next week, I'm going to give you an exercise that you are going to be able to do. And if you want to quickly manifest things, how you do them, you can. But if you don't want to manifest, if you just want things to happen and surprise you, I will show you. And if you want to get rid of all the blockages in your life, the blockages, you have a lot. If you have blockages, if you have been trying, if you have been making an effort to achieve something and it's not working, you identify the blockages and how to speak to the mountain, be thou removed and be cast to the sea. Your blockages, the blockages, the negative strongholds are blockages, and you have the power to get rid of them. You have the power, I say again, you have the power to get rid of all blockages, The way you can operate as a manifested son of God is your heart has got to open up. You've got to have a pure heart. Your heart has got to wait, to open, so that everything you do from the dimension of love. And for this to happen, once your heart opens up, you can walk on all those lower consciousness, and any blockages, any wrongdoings, and maybe things that you had done or your ancestors have done, these generational curses and all that can be lumped together, and you can get rid of them. You can reclaim your power from them. You can speak to the mountain and they will go, and then you'll be free. You'll be free. You'll be free to reveal the Christ in you to your next door neighbor, to your friends, to help creation. This is what we are here for, and this is what Christians are supposed to be doing. The people who live the life of Yeshua. You and I. I'll see you next week. God bless you. I love you.